So one good fit for the MDriven technology stack is any kind of business that has a need to digitalize or improve on their information work. And usually it's depicted like this, that you have a business reality and then you have some new requirements, and from that you produce a perfect specification. And of course that's not gonna do. You will also want to move from that perfect specification into some magic to get a bug-free information system that actually solves the needs that the requirement has stipulated. And we must also refine the picture a bit more, because we also, from where we have the business reality and we got the requirements and ideas to remove frustrations and to work smarter, we get that into a perfect specification, and then we develop the bug-free information system based on these requirements. And from that, when that is finished, we have some kind of continuous integration that moves this into operations, so it actually is available for the business to use. And once the business actually is using the new tools, that may lead to change of the way of working and increase productivity. And of course, this doesn't come automatically. It always requires some work for someone to actually get things implemented in today's business reality. And of course, as that work progresses, new ideas pop up, and you have this loop of ever improving business information environment. So if we were to work like this, we would have a very good knowledge asset up here in the perfect specification, because this wheel sort of puts new requirements into the perfect specification, so that becomes bigger and bigger and more complete on what the business requirements actually are. And one can use such a knowledge asset to avoid silly mistakes and oops, didn't think about that kind of mistakes that easily can happen if no one governs the combined knowledge of the business reality. And of course, we develop from this perfect specification. That's manual labor mostly today, and the development is based on these requirements. And this turns into a quite investment heavy asset. It's expensive, so we put a lot of resources into getting this in place. And then we have the continuous integration and actual usage, and we have the loop continuing. One can say that there is a divide around here, and on this side, the business side, the ideas and rules that keep evolving as long as it maps to the outside world. So that will be more or less forever. As long as the business is alive, this will happen. There will be new ideas and there will be changes from the outside that require us to change the way we work. And that's expected, and every business probably plans for those kind of things to happen. But on this side, the IT side, we use technology that is not getting any younger, and typically we have a half-life of 3 to 5 years on both the technologies that we use to develop this system, and also overall the architecture on how we structure things. If you remember 10 years ago, which is quite a while of course, but no one really talked about the cloud for operations. Now that's has come and almost gone. Now you talk more about private clouds and renting the infrastructure, but owning the access, etc. So um, there's always things happening on this side that is a threat to this investment that we have done in here. But this is maybe the picture or the wheel how it looked up until maybe around the year 2000. But then we put emphasis on being agile, and being agile led into what we today call DevOps, so development and operations. We thought that maintaining the perfect specification was too cumbersome and too expensive, so we sort of dropped that and focus on DevOps with thousands of small tweaks from user stories that sort of stream through this box here and influence what we actually do on this information system. And I'm going to step another. So the divider line has sort of moved into here, and we still have actual uses of new tools that leads to change of today's business reality, and we have new requirements and ideas to remove frustrations. All of that stays the same, but what has happened on this side is that we actually don't prioritize structured documentation, and that's a big loss, I think. It's getting harder to get any oversight on what's actually happening on this investment heavy asset that we have over here. So that, I would say, is problem number one that we address with the MDriven approach to things. That we currently, the tradition today is that we have lost structured business knowledge. So the problem number two is that on this side, the technology isn't getting any younger. As I said, it's easy to see that in the year 2000 we mainly had fat clients, and then we redid those to web-based systems, and the web-based technology went through. Maybe we had some Java at one point, and then we had ASP.NET, and then we had changing technology again to more interactive applications with Ajax and continuous updating of the screens, even if we were on the web. And today we are far from that, and we have quite heavy front-end frameworks, and nothing is actually getting very much easier but to develop. But the tools change all the time. And what does this mean for our information system is that more or less it needs to get rewritten in some way, to be changed in some way. So that's problem number two that we want to address with MDriven, that we feel that all our the market is investing in things that does not age very well, and then it's not actually an investment, it's more like a spend, that you just use up the money and then something new arises, and then you use new money on that. So it's not really an investment anymore, and we think that that is a very big loss and a limitation to what we should expect from information systems. So the third kind of problem that we want to address with MDriven is that on this side, the business side, we are fast paced, and we want to do this often because an idea can rise in a spur of a moment and can be brilliant, and we really need to get that idea through this side and up out on this delivery arrow down here to actually change the way we work to capitalize on this great idea that we had. And then, of course, there are new ideas all the time. And so this is really fast paced, but it's bogged down by this side because that's slow paced and blocky. And with blocky, I mean that it's not very common that you release 2 operations every night, for example. And even if you were to do it every night, the extended functionality would be quite low, and it probably wouldn't fulfill the brilliant idea that was concepted on this side. It would take several iterations for the idea to actually be useful. So this is really quite slow, and it's slowed down primarily by this side. Of course, this isn't anything that you can ignore. It will take time to change everyone in the business to actually use and adapt to the new idea that has been delivered. But that's still something that is not limited in the same way as on this side, because here it's limited on actual work that is complex and hard and interlocked. And of course, the interlocking of all the requirements it's harder to see since we don't have any structured business knowledge. We only have these 1,000 small user stories and the code from here. And it's, as the system grows, it's getting really, really hard to know if a change I do down here actually breaks something that is supposed to work a specific way. So, and the fourth kind of problem that we want to address with the MDriven technology stack is that the resources needed on this side actually, of course, there are plenty of them. There are many people that know how to code, but it's not really enough to know how to code. It takes years of training to avoid messing up things. You won't see a junior developer doing important stuff in at least bug-free information systems. So on this side, really anyone with business insight can chip in. You don't need any specific education to have a great idea. You can just put them forward, and then they will be vetted by others, and if they pass the bar, they will end up here as user stories. And of course, then it will be met by another kind of personnel that has training in technology, not necessarily training in your business idea over here. So that's also a language barrier that we have here that will slow things further and probably introduce quite a few of mistakes based on miscommunication that won't be discovered until you're over here again, and then that's really not an idea, it's just a bug that traveled. Yeah. So we have 4 business problems that we want to address, and what we do with the MDriven is that we introduce, we pull back the things from the year 2000. We remove the DevOps idea that you only should use the user stories and write stuff straight into code over here. Instead, we have the perfect specification in the MDriven Designer, which is basically UML, and that's a standardized way on how people have drawn up the requirements in a communicatable, unmistakable way since almost 50 years now. Oh, maybe not 50 years, but the predecessors to UML, if I count those in, it's 50 years. So that's not strange. Every engineer really knows how to do this, even if they don't practice it. So this is not anything strange. But using the old ways, this became too expensive. But using the new ways that we introduce with the not actually coding the bug-free information system, but merely transforming the knowledge to a system. We can have this, and this is actually the best knowledge asset, and then we can, and this is yours as a business. This is what you take to the bank. This is the knowledge about specific for your business, because this is on the upper side of this divide, and among the assets that you actually control on the business side, I would say. And what MDriven then does, if you keep your requirements in this format that the MDriven designer helps you to do, then you have enough to actually transform into a running system. And this running system, it depends what kind of technology that is, because we have had this since 2008. So we have changed this engine to run the technology or your information system. We had we had Windows Forms at one point, then we had Windows Presentation Foundation, then we have ASP.NET and MVC, and then we, up until recently, we promoted the Angular system that we delivered to customers. And now we're looking at the next generation, which is a .NET based Blazor front-end system that really does everything without you needing to change your specification. It just magically works with new technology. And we foresee that in the future, when the technology that we currently rent to businesses is old, there will be something new, and we will put that into place for you, so you can continue and stop worrying about aging technology and that kind of that part of the information system problem. So you will still choose yourself where to have the operations, being it in the cloud, or if you want us to house it for you. Probably not, because if you're a big business, you would want to have perfect control on this. You can have this in-house, and what happens then is that our technology stack sits on your servers, and you have some kind of continuous integration to provide this information system that now will be an exact replica of what you have in the perfect specification. So you probably run this much faster than and this won't go faster, but this is quite fast anyway. And on this side, it's really fast. So you don't have to, all the problems that you have had before will seem like gone. So number one, we collect the structured business knowledge now, so that's not a problem anymore, that you don't have that. Now you will have it in standardized format, which is good, and it will survive for ages. Number two, you invest in knowledge only, and not in this rent the tech. That's up to us. You just rent it, and then you have what you need. And as time goes by and this gets old, you will get a new one. So that's not a problem. So this is what we call evergreen. We constantly improve this side of the technology stack. So, and since this is now generated and there's no actual knowledge workers that need to be here and translate from user stories into bug-free information system, this is up to 30 times faster, so 3,000% faster. So I would say it's much faster than that, but this is what customers has actually measured. So and the knowledge workers, which you still would need, not quite as many possibly, since this was really the old way of doing this really took manpower, but up here it takes more like brain power. So you will need fewer, but maybe smarter, so or more able, I should say. And So the strategies to actually be good at this is easy to learn, and as I said, all engineers, information or computer engineers actually know this already. They might not be practicing UML and modeling in this way, but they know how to do it deep down inside. So that's basically what I wanted to say, that we solve these 4 problems for you. And if you're a competing business in a competitive world, you will benefit from being really fast here and putting all your efforts on this business side instead of this, I must say, a bit boring technology side. So thank you for listening, and check back for more.